If we can, in the course of our daily life, always remember that the person who is waiting on us and who is serving us in a safe way, who is helping us get stuff into the shopping cart, who is on the bus with us, who is sitting in purring in our laps, that this is an aspect of God. If we can really relate to all beings with that reverence and adoration and compassion, then something amazing will happen to us, and this happens to all people who do this. A light goes on in life, an invisible light, and more clearly you begin to understand and understand that you are a divine being living in a divine world with other divine beings, and from that knowledge an enormous desire to protect and cherish and honor and respect all beings grows and grows and grows. I want to say here, and with all the passion of my heart and with all the grief of my heart, that it is especially important at this time to serve animals. Most of my work has at its core a deep heartbreak at what we are doing to the animals. We've created a massive concentration camp for the animals, and they are dying out, and they are in tremendous pain and tremendous suffering. Anyone who loves animals knows what I'm talking about. So when you meet any animal, and when you see any animal, meet them with great love and reverence, and send a prayer for their well-being and survival to them. Because unless the human race fundamentally changes its attitude to animals and stops creating concentration camp after concentration camp in which they are tortured to death, a huge tsunami of black karma will sweep us away. We cannot go on and call ourselves awake and not do everything in our power to reverse the horrific policies that are now devastating the animal population. So please, in this third form of service, reach out in whatever way is natural to you and with whatever resources you have to help the animals and to become acquainted with what we are doing to them. The fourth form of service is probably crucial for all of us, certainly crucial actually. And this is the service that you and I can do right now, in our local communities. I'm inviting you in this to really embrace the great death and not to run away from it, and to see clearly the lineaments, the lines, the forms of the great birth. I'm inviting you, in other words, to a global vision. But we must think globally, but act locally. Keep this great vision in mind, but use it to focus your energies and actions on a real cause in the real world. People often come up to me and say, there are so many things that need help. There are so many causes that need money. There are so many tragic and terrible difficulties. How can I choose between them? This is the ego trying to sign off from doing anything by claiming that there's just too much to be done. And what I say to them is what I'm going to say to you now. Follow your heartbreak. Follow your heartbreak. If you can find out which of all of the many difficulties and causes that are now raining down on us for our attention really breaks your heart, then you will discover a cause that you can truly devote your energy to. I am heartbroken by many things, but most deeply by what we're doing to the environment and by what we're doing to animals. So I find that whenever I speak about the environment, or whenever I devote myself to raising money to help the animals, an immense energy, an immense passion is given you from the depth of the pain that I feel. So what are you heartbroken about? What are you in deep pain about? Is it children starving in Africa or in the back streets of New Orleans? Is it old people abandoned and unloved? Is it young men dying of AIDS, abandoned by their churches and their parents, who have no one to turn to and no one who will be there to help when they make their journey through death? Is it the plight of the eagles? Is it the pollution of the seas? Is it the horrific fate that's being visited upon the indigenous peoples of the world, who hold so much wisdom? Which of these causes, at 3 o'clock in the morning, really, really makes you want to cry? That will give you the sense of where your mission can most powerfully flower. And what I advise you to do is something that I've done with thousands of people now, is to ask yourself at 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting on your bed, which cause truly breaks your heart. To imagine your heartbreak as a kind of torch, a fire, and to imagine yourself going down into the dark cave of your inmost heart. Imagine it as a big cave, and light up that cave with the torch of your heartbreak, and see that on the floor of that cave there will be a letter, and dare to open that letter, and dare to read what is written in that letter. And what you'll find is written in that letter is what you can do right now in the terms of your local community to really do something about what causes you pain. It's amazing how this meditation works, and I beg you to do it. You see, what I believe is this. I believe that the divine has given every single human being who is born at this moment in this crisis a specific inner task that they can discover if they allow their hearts to be broken open at this moment by what is going on in the great death and by the possibility of the great birth. And I believe that there is a kind of divine organization through which, if all human beings woke up in this way and found this inner task, then all of the different problems would be being healed and solved and dealt with by networks of grace, beings brought together in heartbreak to pool their resources of every kind and work together on these immense problems. You may be interested in dealing with the environment. I may be interested in animals. Your cousin may be interested in old people. Find out what breaks your heart. Link with other people who are heartbroken in the way you are, and start working with